What's up, world? It's your boy Jaron Ikner back again with another video for Starstruck TV. This time we're talking about this new versus battle between Rick Ross and 2 Chainz, which honestly, to start this off, I was pretty surprised at this battle in terms of it even existing in the first place. And 2 Chainz even admitted this himself, that he knew that Rick Ross was in a different category than him. A lot of that has to do not necessarily with sound quality, but more so time. Rick Ross has probably like a good 10 years on 2 Chainz before 2 Chainz really became super successful. And that played a big factor in a lot of this. With that said, I would have to say that I was pleasantly surprised with this battle. A little bit more evenly matched than I was expecting it to be. Honestly, I was expecting Rick Ross to kind of come in and kind of flatten it. But what was interesting about it is, 2 Chainz is probably like the most iconic rapper of our recent generation in terms of being like that funny rapper. And what I mean by that is that there's always going to be a rapper in the game that is like the comedic kind of rapper. For my generation, I'm 36 years old, it was more like Ludacris. Ludacris kind of always had that comedic edge to a lot of the stuff that he did, or he wasn't afraid to go comedic. And I think that 2 Chainz, in a lot of ways, for that reason, is almost like the Ludacris of this generation in terms of being able to resonate on a level that goes just beyond rapping about the dope game and being a dope rapper and all the money you got and all that stuff. 2 Chainz is a very funny dude. And I think what was cool about this is that, 2 Chainz, he said it constantly throughout this battle. He's like, I'm just trying to play my songs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to play my songs. And every song that he was dropping, he's like, this one got platinum too. This one's platinum too. And so for him, this is more like a reminder to everybody, like, I've been around for a minute. I've been doing this for a while, longer than most people think. I got a lot of hits. But when you compare it to Rick Ross, though, it's like, man, Rick Ross, like, especially when Rick Ross started getting into like the Khaled tracks, the Drake features, the song he has with Jay-Z, songs like Rich Forever with John Legend. These are songs that are like, for me, like these are like cornerstone songs in generational definitions. You know what I'm saying? Songs like F with Me, I Got It. You know what I'm saying? I'm on one. These are classic radio smash hits. And even when Rick Ross is playing Every Day I'm Hustling, one of his first songs, it kind of felt like, 2 Chainz, his current style wouldn't necessarily even be what it is if Rick Ross wasn't making songs like Hustlin' and songs like that kind of like paved the way for 2 Chainz to be where 2 Chainz is at. And this is not to discredit 2 Chainz, because like he is actually one of my favorite rappers in this new era, even though I think he's a year older than me. But he definitely has reached a level of notoriety and fame, and he has parlayed it into him being a little bit more in the spotlight than Rick Ross. And I'm sure some people will argue with me with that, but like, if you check out his show on Vice, The Most Expensivest and stuff like that, like, he has almost like this Snoop Dogg level of personality that exudes more than just his music. And honestly, that's kind of what carries a lot of 2 Chainz' music and energy to that's kind of what brought him to the top, in my opinion, was his personality, his charm, his ability to be lighthearted, his ability to kind of like not take himself too seriously. And that exudes through everything that he does. And I really respect him for that, because of the fact that, like in the game, especially hip hop, these rappers be taking themselves too seriously, or they try to take themselves too seriously. And that's what's interesting about Rick Ross, because Rick Ross is almost like the epitome of a rapper who kind of takes himself a little bit too seriously, in my opinion. And he always talking about being a boss and this and that. And I think that every once in a while, I like the few instances that I think of Rick Ross did go lighthearted or did like smile on camera, like, those are great moments. And 2 Chainz, he's not afraid to smile, he's not afraid to laugh, he's not afraid to tell a joke on a track. And hearing his catalog, song for song, songs like Fucking Problem, No Lie, it's like dude has a pretty solidified place on the list of great hip hop artists. This is 100% guaranteed. Like, I don't think that he's really ever questioned at this point. And obviously, I don't think he would even be doing this versus battle if that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? Because versus is kind of reserved for a legend tier. And I think that's what was surprising about it when I first realized that Rick Ross and 2 Chainz were going against each other. I was like, man, is 2 Chainz, is he in that tier? Is he? And then like I had to think about it. I'm like, I guess he is. But then when I actually heard the battle and like the songs he was dropping like back to back, like, and him prefacing at that with like, hey, this is a platinum song. Like, this is a platinum. I got to plaque off this. I got to plaque off that. And it's like, man, you do have a good, strong catalog of songs. But when you compare that to Rick Ross, though, it's like, man, Rick Ross is arguably one of the most iconic of our generation. And, this is where the controversy goes, and this is where y'all are going to get up in my comment section. But I will say that Rick Ross is basically the Notorious B.I.G. of this generation. And what I mean by that is that the level of swag that he carries, his presentation as a boss, mafioso type of dude, kind of his cadence, even his body form is reminiscent of a Notorious B.I.G. And one would argue that if Notorious B.I.G. was not murdered, he would be on a path similar to Rick Ross, to where he would have his own record label. He would probably be one of the most prolific rappers of our time, if not of all time. And I think Rick Ross kind of slid into that. This was kind of even co-signed by Diddy at one point. A while back, they did a song together that kind of like I think it was like one of these missing hidden B.I.G. tracks that kind of like passed the torch over to Rick Ross. I think Diddy kind of felt the same way, where like the closest thing that we have to Notorious B.I.G. right now is Rick Ross. And I know that you guys are probably going to be going off on me in the comment section, but I think that that's what it is. Like, Rick Ross is probably the closest thing that we have to the essence and energy of Notorious B.I.G. That's Rick Ross, right? So, and then not only that, but Rick Ross also has a pretty storied career. You know what I'm saying? He was dropping a lot of music with MMG a while back, and when he launched that label, was dropping an album every year at one point. And there was a point in time where he was everywhere, feature-wise. And then you also think about his relationship with DJ Khaled, where he's basically guaranteed to be on every single DJ Khaled album, which means he'll probably have a single out every year. He's everywhere, man. Like, Rick Ross is, I have to put him in the conversation as one of the greatest of all time. If we made like a top 30 list, Rick Ross is in there for sure, definitely. And y'all are gonna be debating me. I'm sure you guys are in the comment section like, no, you're not. There's no way that you can call Rick Ross. Comb your hair. I know how you all roll, but that's just how I feel. With that said, Rick Ross, he dropped songs like, Devil in a New Dress. Before I cut the video, he was playing an exclusive verse from Famous from Kanye West. There's, like I said, the Khaled tracks. There's the songs with Drake. There's a lot of songs that he didn't play that would have helped further my point in terms of his vast catalog of songs. Also, to continue my controversial statements that get you all angry, I do think that Rick Ross, production-wise, I think that Rick Ross actually has the best ear for production of all time, ever, in the history of hip-hop. When it comes to choosing beats and picking the best beats for him to rap over and for his artist to rap over, Rick Ross actually has the best ear, arguably ever. A lot of times when I'm checking out Rick Ross's album, it's just to hear what beats he chose. Because to be dead ass honest about it, Rick Ross kind of raps the same way on every single effing song that he puts out. There's not like he's going out here barring people on tracks. No, he has the same exact flow on almost every single track that he has ever done. And he does that to where he has the space to put his ad-libs in, his Ross, and his And go listen to his song. And then you will hear that it's the Ross. It's that same flow in every song. Every looking song he's ever done in his the whole career. I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 songs in his catalog where I'm like, oh man, you switched up the flow, crazy. But no, same way. I'm not mad at that. It's a signature. You know what I'm saying? It's a stamp that you put on yourself. I get that. So I'm not really mad at him for doing that. But, you know, I don't go to listen to Rick Ross albums to go hear his vast storytelling and his amazing lyrical capacity and bar ability, because I already know what to expect from him from that. Like, that's not why I listen to Rick Ross's music. Oftentimes I listen to Rick Ross's music because his beat selection is immaculate. Immaculate. He is one of the best beat selectors of all time. If I had an opportunity to work with Rick Ross, I would definitely have him choose my beats for my album, for sure. And like one of my dream scenarios is that, I think they talked about this before, is that Rick Ross would do an album for Nas. Like he would pick beats for Nas, because you know Nas is notoriously known for choosing terrible beats. So, you know, it's really interesting to hear Rick Ross's repetitive ass flow over all this amazing production. Like, he has amazing ears. Amazing ears. The best ear in hip hop history. You can argue with me in the comments. I might answer back. It depends on how I'm feeling today. But that's just how I feel. But you gotta give him his flowers. But also with that said, 2 Chainz, you know what I'm saying? 2 Chainz held his own. Like I said, when I heard this battle was happening, I was like, man, 2 Chainz, I don't think he's quite on that tier yet, but I do think he's there. After hearing all the songs back to back, it's like, all right, yeah, you're in there. Like, you're not Rick Ross level. Like, Rick Ross is here on the legend tier, right? 2 Chainz is like right here. He has a ways to go before he reaches Rick Ross's level of legend, but he's in that room. That's for sure. So, you know, shout out to these two black men getting it on with their dope hip hop music. I love it. The Verzuz battles, I think, is one of the best things that have come out of this pandemic. So shout out to Swiss Beats once again, even though we got beef. And shout out to Timberland for you guys putting this together. I'm very excited to see the next battle so I can do these videos and talk crap and get yelled at in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all the stuff that people be doing on YouTube, or don't really care. But I do have a new single coming out. It's called One Way Trip. Jaron Ikner, One Way Trip. It's a brand new song. If you like it, let me know. If you hate it, let me know. We here. Peace, one love, respect. We out. Whoop.